Joyquilts, Ardrossan, Alberta. Today we're doing a quilt. It's kind of a big block quilt, so we're putting a design on it called Aloha Petite. The interesting thing about this design is it's going to do 2 rows at once because they are 7.03 inches per row, and our machine will do about 15 inches. Another thing that I was going to show you that I tried to show in the last video, but I didn't have the top rail unwound enough to show you, is the way we keep the quilt straight when we float the quilt top. So what I'm going to do is go over and pull up the top rail, and you can see how we do that with a pin. Okay, so what we've done is we've put a pin in at the end of the row and at the other end, the other side of the quilt. So we know when we do this that the quilt is coming straight down the frame, which is exactly what we need it to do. And that's a really clever way of doing it, and really quick as well. We remember to turn off the lights on the machine again, which is always nicer because then you can actually see where it's stitching instead of just the glow. This is a fairly simple design, so we can turn the speed up quite high. Something that does a lot of overstitching, you don't want to do that because it's going to jerk back and forth and you're going to have uneven stitches. But it works perfectly with something like this that's basically a curved line design. Simple is best. We find sometimes if you have too elaborate of a quilting pattern on a quilt like this that has quite simple square blocks, it kind of defeats the purpose. So really try to tailor the block to the quilting to the block. Most of our customers want to pick their own design, and they know their quilts. It takes some time. We have hundreds of designs to choose from. And we also have the capability with Art and Stitch to digitize as well. We can either do that from a JPEG, or we can do it from any kind of image that we use as a backdrop. We trace it first, and then bring it into the software, add stitches, export it in our format, which is BQM, Bernina Q24, and then it's ready for stitching. Really easy way to do completely original quilting designs on a quilt. And that's all part of the service. We're using polysheen thread, using a different color on the top, a little darker yellow on the bottom, because the backing in this quilt is a bit more of a mustardy yellow. So when it gets to the end, what it's going to do is ask me if I want to pull up the bobbin thread so it can start the next row. And of course, since we don't have to roll it, we're just going to say no and press go so it can just continue. Then we clip the thread, which is about 8 inches long, which gives us lots of thread to pull up from the bottom and then thread through. What we do with those ends is we pull them up to the top, tie a knot in them, and then thread them in between the layers. Very much what we would do in hand quilting. So we really haven't gotten that far from the origins of quilting. So we use a lot of the techniques in the machine quilting. So they were good. We're coming up to that point now. And automatically stop when it gets to the last stitch. Alright, here it goes. Now it's going to say, do you want to pull up the bobbin thread, or what do you want to do? We're just going to hit the check mark, which means it's going to move to the first stitch. The next row, I'm just going to kind of make sure we're in the right spot. And then we're just going to press go, because you can't pull the bobbin thread up since it's still attached underneath. And then when it gets a safe distance away, I'm going to go over there and cut that thread and pull up the bobbin thread and tie off the ends. It actually makes the quilting process go really twice as fast, because a lot of time is spent rolling the quilt and making sure that it's even and everything is good. So this saves a lot of time. Basically, you're doing that half the time. We're holding on our Bernina Q24 with Q-matic Art and Stitch version 5 software. We're using an SUK 80 needle, which is a ballpoint needle. We find that works the best because it separates the fabric instead of piercing it. And it separates the threads. We do change threads with or needles with our various threads. Obviously, with King Tut, you need to use a top stitch needle. This is basically a needle that we use for everything else. We use it for the Oracle 50 weight cotton, we use it for the polishing. Pretty much anything other than a sulky blendable and a King Tut, which we do use the top stitch needles for. So there it is, on its way back on the other row. And it will stop when it gets to the end. We'll give it another roll and off we go again. Joyquilts, joyquilts.com, Hotmail, Instagram, Facebook.